All right, rock and roll. Here we are on a beautiful February 26th day of 2025. And welcome. Welcome to our beautiful little Scorched Earth podcast. I'm your host, John. First off, if you could please hit the subscribe and like button. It really means a lot to us in our organization. We're starting to gain a little steam and we appreciate your comments. Also, if you want, leave those comments. I might bring them on the air. Live a little, Hey, it's only February, okay? You don't have to worry about toning it down till October. That's when you start. You gotta be cool so you can get cool Christmas gifts from family and friends, right? You could be a rebel for the first 9 months of the year, and then you got to kind of pull it back that last 2 months so you get a really good gift. That's what kids do. They're kind of uncool in October with, Halloween, stuff like that. Well, we're a little older. We're a little wiser. It's all about the gifts. Show me the money. Isn't that what Jerry Maguire said? First off, we're going to start with story we started with my own personal story yesterday about my transitioning. Most people seem to in the comments think I was actually doing the metamorphosis from male to female, but no, I know you think because I'm so pretty, I'm becoming a female, but no, that's not really what it is. I'm transitioning from cable to streaming. Okay. We talked about that yesterday. I'm not going to bore you again with it, but every time I call, it's literally 30 minutes and the first 10 minutes is going through AI and it is just bloody ridiculous. And the only reason they're using AI isn't because they're trying to get more efficient. They're trying to get rid of humans, right? They want to get the costs down everywhere they can, want to make more money because Spectrum making $3 billion a year isn't enough. They got to try and squeeze it to 3.1, right? God forbid we have employees who actually can help the customer. God forbid that, right? So the last time I had a problem was Thursday. I called, dealt with my half hour of testicle torture that's known as dealing with customer service. Had the representative, had the technician out yesterday. Seems to have fixed everything. But when I was talking to him on Thursday, I said, can you just give me credit for not having sound for a week? And the guy says, look, here's what we're going to do. This is the best thing, the most beneficial thing to you. Wait till the technician fixes it on Monday, and then we'll credit you for the whole time. I said, okay, that's fair. That's cool. So I'm not really a nickel and dime guy. Don't really care about $5 or whatever. But for some reason, have you ever gotten a situation where it's, it's just like principle, it's blood money. It's literally, this is where I'm at, right? So I'm like, Spectrum, middle finger, right? So everything gets taken care of. I get on the phone because I know I got a half hour of my life I'll never get back. And I get to billing. And I talk to the guy and he goes, let me look at your history here. And so he leaves. He goes, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. And that's probably where they laugh and they get together around the water cooler, the Keurig machine and go, oh my God, look what we've been doing to this guy for 3 months. He's called like 10, 12 times about no sound and he's still a customer. What a chump. Hey, Fred, you got your buddy, the used car salesman? I got a live one on line 4, right? After the phone call, hey, would you like to buy a car? Yeah, sure. Why not? Right. So he comes back and goes, wow, you got kind of history here in the last couple months. I go, yeah, I do. I said, I just want to get credit. I said, I explained to him the story I just told you about what the other guy said. I just want to get credit for like a week, 10 days, whatever. He goes, okay, I can do that. He goes, I can give you credit for a week. I said, you know what? Cool. I'm not going to fight about days. Give me a week for credit. I said, let's go, buddy. He says, I'm glad to help you. Glad to assist you. Be careful of strangers bearing gifts, right? So he says, I got your credit. It's 11:53. And I said, what? It's what? He goes, it's 11:53. I said, we're talking about a week here, right? He goes, yeah. I go, how much is my bill? And he goes, it's $80 a month. Okay. So we're going to put up a little chart. Okay. Hey, You want the high-tech stuff? I'm a tech bro, but I'm not the super high-tech. So my bill is $80, 4 weeks in a month. He says it comes out to $11.53. Yeah, okay, I don't think that was on the SAT. And I said, shouldn't that be $20? And he looks at it and goes, yeah, the computer just popped out the $11.53. He goes, yeah, it should be 20. I said, well, then why isn't it? He goes, I really don't know. I'm like, wow, thanks. So then, they act like they're doing you some big favor. Then he all of a sudden says, okay. I said, look, I really don't care about the $8, $7, whatever it is, but I kind of do. Right now we're just, scorched earth, baby. Scorched earth. Hey, it's not just a podcast, it's a way of life, all right? So I said, how many times do people get shorted because the computer says it's a number and they don't even say anything? He goes, honestly, I don't know. He goes, I thought I was going to do it to you. And I'm thinking to myself, the computer right there was gonna shave me for $11.47, on just that. So my advice to you is, and I'm not telling you to go down the rabbit hole for every cent, especially when you're dealing with cable or phone companies or any of those PRICKS, but wow, be careful. I mean, I'm not really good with that. I mean, I just look at the number. I'm like, okay, it seems like about right. Like, I don't balance my checkbook. I know somebody who balances their checkbook every day, and I have so much admiration for it, but like homie doesn't even play that. I'm like, if I'm within $5 or $10 or whatever, I'm happy, right? But for you out there, you might want to think about it. A little story from the streets of Spectrum. All right. And we're off and running, taking no prisoners, telling no lies. So the big story of the day is the Republicans in the House passed a budget blueprint with over $2 trillion in cuts. Now, what happened is, this isn't the actual budget bill. They are putting out there under vote what their stated goals are. So they have a line, we want $2 trillion in cuts. We want to increase the budget for immigration, national security, whatever, right? But they don't have to get very specific. Now, these numbers come from places. They've been debating it for the last 3 weeks, actually for the last 3 months after they knew that they were going to be the majority party, but whatever. So they have a pretty good idea because it's, they have to come up with a budget within a week and a half. Okay, the government is going to shut down possibly in the middle of March. So they got to have something up and running because after they if they pass a budget, then it has to go to the Senate, then it has to get signed. So there's a process there, right? So Mike Johnson, that human turd from Louisiana, he only lost one Republican vote, and that was Thomas Massie of Kentucky, who is a fiscal hawk. And we're going to get more into this story. This is going to be our big story of the day. He doesn't think there's enough cuts. He's just not going for it. He's like, we need to actually balance the budget, not raise the debt ceiling, anything like that. The next step for the Republicans here, now, no Democrats voted for this, okay? It's 217, 215. This was it. They couldn't tie. Tie does not progress this piece of legislation or this budget bill framework. How about we say that? Now, I want everybody to remember something, and I had this discussion with Brother Billy tonight, and he's a staunch Republican, and he's off on this rant, like I heard in 2016, that, the Democrats are obstructing, and I said, we have no power. We literally have no power. We do not have a majority in the House. We do not have a majority in the Senate, and we don't have the White House. And we definitely don't have a majority in the Supreme Court, as all the women with reproductive rights issues seem to understand after the Dobbs decision, unfortunately. It's really nice guys didn't come to the rescue of women, but, let's just only think about ourselves in America, right? That's what we do now. So Billy's telling me, oh, yeah, the Democrats are doing it. I said, you don't need one of our votes. I said, you can pass whatever you want without one of our votes. Immigration, the budget, whatever. The problem is you got too many guys inside your house fighting against each other. And that ain't my fault. That ain't my thing. But, it's funny. I brought this up to 2 or 3 different Republicans, including the one who balances the checkbook every day. And it's funny, they just don't want to hear the actual facts. Like, the Democrats can't do anything. If stuff doesn't get passed, that's them. Look what Joe Biden, look what Barack Obama, when they had the same situation, what they passed. Barack Obama passed the most significant piece of legislation in our lifetime with the ACA. He did. That is going to be something that's probably going to be the biggest piece of legislation for the next 20 years. Joe Biden actually passed the second biggest piece of legislation in the last 40 years with the Build Back Better America and the CHIPS and Science Act. Huge things. And matter of fact, it was yesterday, I was looking at all the infrastructure projects that are now starting to really hit the ground because of what Biden did. There's they're expanding a road to Norfolk, Virginia, which has been 2 lanes for like 40 years, and it's going to be 6 lanes, and it goes underwater, and it has all these complicated engineering feats. Well, it's going to be done in 3 years, and that's, Trump is obviously going to be there for the ribbon cutting. He can't be on the runway in Washington where 67 people died, but believe me, if there's something he thinks he can take some credit for, man, can't get enough cameras on that orange effing face, right? Now, the Republicans are going to start to hunker down and get to work on what the bill really is going to be, the nuts and bolts. How much money is going to each agency, things like that. Should be real interesting. If there's hundreds of billions of dollars in waste, this should be the easiest thing in the world. Just call up Elon. Just, hey, I got a way to get rid of $1 trillion. Just get rid of the Department of Defense. See how that goes over with your constituents, right? So this tentative blueprint includes $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for the rich. Okay, because Elon, you think he's just hanging out there because he wants to do America good, even though it's not his natural homeland? Yeah, no. I got a feeling he's worried about his pocketbook. Okay, look at the pocketbook. It's just like in All the President's Men, follow the money. Always follow the money. They're trying to steal our money. They're trying to take our standing in this world. All they want is money and power. They don't give a rat F about us. You and I both know that. And anybody who votes to empower them, you get what you pay for. And people are going to get what they pay for really, really soon. So they also want steep spending cuts across the board. And it seems we're going to find out. I don't want to talk too much smack here, but the big golden ox up there is the $800 billion in Medicaid. It is. Look, they are not going to be able to sell their constituents on cutting defense. They can't. That's the biggest budget, right? After that is Social Security, and then the VA administration. Do you really think any of those Republicans have the balls to go after them? Nah. They're going to come after me and you. That's what they're going to come after. They're going to try and get rid of Social Security for the poor people, or us. Okay, I'm going to throw myself as poor, okay? For the rest of these podcasts, I'm just the poor, okay? I don't want to put anybody down. I don't want to be denigrating in any way, but according to, look, you're either the have or the have not. I am a have not, okay? I hope you're not, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I really don't give a rat's ass how much money you make. You're a beautiful person. That's all that matters. Forget the monetization of this world right there. That's what I say. It's about the character of your content, like Martin Luther King said. That's all that matters to me, but okay, the world's got to monetize it because of your death. They want to be able to say, oh, they were a great guy if you're rich. If not, well, sorry. Well, good luck. Who's paying for the funeral? Hey, who's picking up drinks at the bar? Okay. Hey, that's going to be me, okay? Hopefully my friends will be like Janis Joplin. I'll have enough money. They can have a shot of whiskey, have a beer, have a mimosa, have a champagne cocktail. Maybe they'll think of me finally. If they don't, hey, man, I've had my whole life to do it. Donald Trump's had his whole life. And let me tell you something. He is going to go down in history as just the most horrible human being. Horrible, horrible human being. And you cannot buy redemption. What did they say at the end of Titanic? Asking for a redemption that will never come. And that's what these Republicans are. They want to act like it's everybody else, and then they want to act like they have a soul, and then they want to act like they're an evangelical, and then they want to act like they're a Christian. But when somebody comes to them and asks for them something, for help from our government, for an American citizen, they put the middle finger up. Sorry, it's not in the budget. I'm sorry, maybe I read the wrong Bible, but I don't remember Jesus talking about budgets at the Last Supper. But I digress. But then again, that's why this is the Scorched Earth podcast, because I really don't give an F what they think. And I got some really nice comments today. Super producer Stacy on her deathbed sent me the comments. I got something wrong with my app. I got to fix it. Well, actually, she's got to fix it because I don't have the mental acuity to do it. But I was looking at him and like, yeah, bring it on, man. Let's get into the fight. Let's go. You got a problem out there? You put it in the comments. I'm coming. I'm not scared of you. Okay? I'm not scared of you. And if you want to know my official name, it's Elon Musk if you want to take me out, okay? ELONMUSK. And then there's Esquire. DIRTBAG. Dirtbag. All right. So Johnson had a really tough day yesterday. Couldn't get enough votes all day. 12 hours, he was grinding it. At 7:30, he scrapped the vote. Then they converted a couple of Republican holdouts. Trump made a call to one of the people on Johnson's team. They kind of worked through some things. And really, here's what the battle is. And here is where I don't think they can overcome it. And I hope they can't, but whatever. Is inside the Republican wing, we have anywhere from 12 to 20 fiscal hawks. Now, I would say they're transitioning from just horrible people to the devil spawn, but I digress. So they want big budget cuts because they feel this is their last best chance to balance the budget. Okay, maybe it is. I think Warren Buffett's suggestion is if you don't balance the budget, you can't run for re-election. Let me tell you, stuff will get done. But okay. Versus, and then the bottom line is it's all Medicaid. This is really where the issue is going to come. And I've seen data that there's 4 Republican congressmen currently who over 50% of their district gets Medicaid. Now, it could be elderly, it could be young, it could be disabled people. I don't know. I couldn't see the breakdown on that. Well, that's a big thing. Because when you run for re-election and there's deep Medicaid cuts, you're probably not going to get their vote, and justifiably so. Okay? So that is the battle. You have the fiscal hawks versus the moderates, and they're really fighting over Medicaid. That's really it. I have not heard one thing about a cut to the budget for defense. Or, like I said, Social Security, maybe that trim's coming, or the VA. So all you got left, the next big thing at $800 billion is Medicaid. All right, let's see. The Republicans have always been wrong on social issues. They have an inhumanity that is almost indescribable. Don't ever pay any credence to their lip service about they care people. Let me tell you the story of the scorpion and the frog. Probably most of you have heard it. For those of you who haven't, here it is. And for those of you who have, I tell such a rollicking tale, you're going to be entertained. Are you not entertained? So the scorpion is on the shore, and there's a frog out there. And the scorpion says, hey, can you do me a favor? Do me a solid. Can you take me across the river? I can't. If I go out there, I'm going to drown. And the frog goes, well, yeah, I guess. But, if you sting me, I'm not going to make it. And then the scorpion looks at him and says, why would I sting you? I'll be on you. If I sting you, I'll die too. Well, that makes a lot of sense to the frog. The frog says, yeah, okay, let's go. So they're jamming across. Scorpion's on his back. About halfway across, the scorpion stings him. And the frog starts to slowly descend into the water and drowns. As he's drowning, he looks up at the scorpion and says, "Why did you do it?" And the scorpion looked at him and said, "It's in my nature." All right, they both die. That's just how it is, right? But you can't change who you are. And I don't care how much clown makeup you put on these Republicans. They don't care about me and you. They only care about stuffing their fat pockets with as much money as they can, because that's the only value they have as human beings. All right. And as we're seeing now, we've had multiple town halls. We talked about it the other day, about in Georgia with Representative McCormick. We've had them in California, Wisconsin, and Missouri, where the town folk, even in Republican districts, are getting a little angry about all these government cutbacks, because they didn't think it was coming to them. Oops, spoiler alert. Yeah, it is. So we have Representative Mark Alford yesterday in a town hall in Belton, Missouri. He was asked a question: why is an unelected person allowed to hire and fire thousands of government employees? Ooh, didn't seem like Mark had that answer, right? At the end of this terrible day where they pass this budget that is going to destroy human lives, I watched on CNN, C-SPAN, I watched them have a moment of prayer and thank God. And I thought to myself, if your God endorses what you have just laid out for the rest of America, I don't want anything to do with your God or your religion or whatever you call, because that ain't right. We all know what's right, and we know what they're doing is wrong. All right, off to some odd things in the news. President Trump said on Tuesday that the U.S. would start selling a gold card. I'm not making this up. Would sell a gold card to wealthy foreigners, giving them the right to live and work in the U.S. and offering a path to citizenship for a $5 million fee. Starts in 2 weeks. Wow. He can't get down the price of eggs. He can't get down the price of groceries. But, man, they got some plans. They got some plans. When asked if he would sell the card to Russian oligarchs, Trump said, "Yeah, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. Hey, I think Hannibal Lecter was a pretty nice guy, Had a little Chianti with that liver, right?" On the surface, I get it. We're giving away something very valuable. And they had an HSN1, which was if a foreigner agreed to put in basically $1.8 million into the U.S. economy, they could have a path to a green card and citizenship. I get where Trump is trying to up the ante here. It just makes me sick. I got to be honest. I understand revenue. I do. I get it. Okay. And honestly, if you're going to sell it for $1.8 million, you might as well sell it for $5 million. Okay. I give the devil his due. But I just think about all these kids, these kids in other countries who are hoping for a better life, and they just never get a shot because they weren't born in the right place, or the dreamers, Obama's thing, right? These kids in hostile and devastating war zones who get to come to the U.S. and start a life. And that plan's been scrapped by Trump. I guess at some point it's all about money. And look, I will say I will applaud Trump, and I hate doing that, man. I'd rather gouge my own eyes out. If you're going to sell it for 1.8, go ahead and make it 5, make it 10 million, okay? Whatever. Let me tell you, sell it to Russian oligarchs, people who prey on other people, who kill other people for money, whatever. As long as they're nice people, right? I'm sure that they're going to be thoroughly vetted, right? It just makes me want to throw up. I understand the money thing, and I understand the money makes the world go round. Of course, John just said, life shouldn't be about how you monetize it. Yeah, I did. I just said it. But, I guess if you're going to sell it for 1.8, raise the price to 5 million, I guess. I don't know. I really don't have a view on it. It's just scummy. It's like Trump's crypto. It's just corrupt. It's just scummy. And it's just about placating the rich in this world and pissing on the poor. All right. We got the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. is being accused of running interference for an ally of President Trump. Boy, I bet you didn't see that on your bingo card. With the U.S. Attorney Ed Martin refusing to sign an arrest warrant sent by the Washington, D.C. Metro Police, who endorsed Trump, for Representative Corey Mills. I hadn't heard this on the news, but I'm giving you the late-breaking stuff, right? Who is being investigated over an alleged assault of a 27-year-old woman who, he's Republican, who isn't his wife. Huh. The assault happened last Wednesday at a luxury penthouse in Washington, D.C. Sure, there was no shenanigans going on there, but hey, we don't need to be putting the arrest warrant out. Hey, just a white man hitting a woman, okay? That's how they used to do it. But do these people have sisters or daughters, or do they not have any soul? I mean, don't they? I mean, Pete Hegseth. Look at that. Pig Hegseth. Assaulting a woman at a conservative conference. Yeah. Let's just make him defense secretary. It's almost the price of admission to the Trump administration. Hey, have you assaulted a woman? Have you mistreated a woman? All right, good, you're in. Finally, our last story of the day. Under the Trump administration, a Southwest plane almost hit another jet on the runway at Chicago Midway Airport. I saw the video, and the Southwest plane is getting ready to land, and another plane is taxiing across from it. Now, I'm not sure what it hit, but it has been pretty damn close. And the Southwest pilot was really astute, and he pulled back up to safety. Yeah, good thing we cut the FAA. Good thing. I love it. I love it. All right. That's the end of our podcast today. I know you're going to be a little sad, but don't be sad. Be happy because we got to share these couple moments together. We're fighting together for freedom, for democracy, and trust me, we are going to persevere. I need you, you need me, we need each other. Let's make a better world, all right? If you could, though, hit that like and subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Leave some comments, and I will talk to you tomorrow.